Don't waste the energy that is now accumulated in your palms. There'll be some warmth there, rub them, and then just give yourself a rub through. Especially those areas that may be aching, give them a good rub. It helps, actually. Thank you. Did you have a good seat? Yeah, that's great. Yeah. What I wanted to ask was, well, initially, just now when you went into the first part of meditation, there was someone coughing and all that. Did you react to that? Or did you just take it as a sound arising and then just let it go? Yeah. So sometimes our mind works so fast. The moment we hear something, we react immediately, like asking questions like, oh, who was that? Oh, so irritating, or something like that. As long as there's thoughts coming up, it means that our mind is moving so fast, reacting to the contact with from our ear to the sound, external sound, and then we just react so quickly. Yeah, consciously we know that, okay, there's a sound there, but sometimes our mind works so fast, we just react to it, and that is how our mind gets disturbed and all that. That's why in meditation, when we have sits together and all that, and when we have timing and all that, it sometimes can be not very advantageous too, because just when you are about to go into a deep meditation and then suddenly the alarms go, the sound of the bell goes or whatever, it sort of like just cuts through your focus. Yeah, so that can be a disadvantage also. So that's why if we are meditating at home, the best is not to have any alarm or whatever to get you out of your meditation, because just at the moment when you're just about to really go deep, yeah, then you hear that, and it's sort of like waste all our efforts. Yeah. So, but unfortunately, because the group seats is there mainly, and also the alarm is there mainly for those of us who are not used to sitting like maybe for a longer period. That timing that actually helps us to put in that effort to hopefully sit for a little bit longer, to train ourselves to really condition the body to sit longer. At the same time, also conditioning our mind to really settle down. Yeah. So this is the reason why we have the timing and all that. So for many of us who are not used to sit for long hours, usually we give 1 hour. And if you have a meditation retreat or something, usually 1 hour followed by maybe about 15 minutes to half an hour of walking meditation. Yeah, because if you really go into a 9 days retreat, most of the time, if we sit for a very long time, I'm quite sure that many of us, including us monastics, right, will feel the soreness around this area or this area, the pull there, unless we are into a very deep, still meditation. Otherwise, you can feel that. And if we are not able to overcome those kind of irritation or pain, it's going to be a hindrance to our meditation. Yeah. So this is the reason why usually in a meditation retreat, we alternate between sitting and walking, and sometimes even standing. If, for instance, we don't have a proper walking meditation hall and it's raining outside or it's too hot or there's no proper place to walk, then we can actually practice standing meditation. I'm not sure whether you all have been taught how to do standing meditation. Yeah. So if there's any opportunity, anyone who wants to learn, maybe sometimes during the monthly meditation day, we can actually get the monastic to do a demonstration. Yeah. So this helps, especially when the body is really getting sore and all that. Then we have to change our position a little bit. Yeah. So unless we are into very deep meditation, otherwise we can still feel the soreness of the body, the pains here and there. Yeah. Okay. So is there any question? Any question from here?
Thank you, Ayya. Is any question from the hall?
Yeah. Hi. Do you have any tips for meditating early in the morning? Because I've been trying to wake up and meditate in the morning, and drowsiness is a big issue. I think I struggle with sort of the meditation early morning. So.
I'm not too clear about the question. I only heard that in the morning, and you struggle with?
Oh no. So do you have any tips on starting meditation early in the morning?
Yeah.
This is. I think drowsiness is probably the biggest issue for me.
Okay. In fact, we find that morning is the best time for our meditation. You know why? I mean, probably you didn't have enough rest and didn't have enough sleep. So for anyone who attempts to meditate early in the morning, you must make sure that you have enough sleep, especially if you're working or you have family commitments and all that. Yeah, you need to really ensure that you get enough rest, enough sleep. Now, why is it so conducive to meditate early in the morning? You see, like most monasteries, right? Either they start meditating at 3:30 or 4:30. At Newbury, we're already late. We start gathering at 5 o'clock. Usually between 3 something to 4 something in the morning. That is when a lot of people will be asleep. I mean, there are people who are working night shifts and all those things, and there are other kinds of trades happening in the nighttime. But generally speaking, the energy around us are really still and quiet because most people are resting, they are asleep, right? So if you have enough sleep at night, ensure that you have enough rest, you get up at a specific time, and if you do it every day, it is just like automatic that at that specific time you'll just get up, and you know that when you get up at that time, you're ready to go into meditation. Yeah, but sometimes the body may not be well, so you may feel drowsiness, right? So there are a few factors surrounding the drowsiness, but as mentioned, as taught by our teachers, early in the morning is the best time for meditation. Yeah, I don't know, some teachers seem to tell us that in the morning, especially if you're in the forest or something, somewhere secluded from too much movements from whether it's activities from people or machineries and all those things, right? The energy there, the quietness and stillness there is very conducive to us, especially when you are in a very quiet place, right? So even at home, it's still possible. I mean, we may be living in a neighborhood with many people around us, but at that time, early in the morning, a lot of people are sleeping. So the energy there is very peaceful and calm. Yeah. So if you find that it happens every day, then you probably need to find out whether there's any way to get enough sleep. Most of the time it's always lack of sleep or lack of rest. Yeah, I hope so, but if it persists all the time, maybe you can just go and just have a little checkup to see whether there's any physical issues. Yeah, okay, yeah. So especially for those of us who need to work in the daytime, nighttime is actually very difficult. Some people do try to meditate before they go to bed, but it's very difficult because your body is already so exhausted from the day's work. Yeah, but morning is always the best time. So for us, in the past when I was a lay person, I ensure that I wake up early in the morning by sleeping earlier in the night, and then also to give us specific time to meditate. Maybe if you need to go and work at a certain period, or for housewives who need to really prepare breakfast for children or husband to bring to school or to work, whatever, you just got to plan your time properly and ensure that every morning you have that time before you go into the kitchen or go and prepare something. That time that needs to be very active, it has to come after your meditation. And this is one of the reasons why even in the monastery, early in the morning, when our living guests and our monastics, when we come into the morning, unless we have a duty to do, Otherwise, we will tell each other, you do not even need to greet us. Don't say, good morning, Ayya, whatever. Don't do anything. When you wake up in the morning, just get yourself clean, wash up, maintain that silence of the mind, right? And go into the meditation hall. And important thing is, if you really want to start the meditation early in the morning, it is always very helpful for you to do a little bit of chanting. Chanting just to get yourself prepared mentally and also to get your mind focused. Yeah? So that may be helpful. Maybe you can give it a try and see how it goes, right? So plan your time for sleep, because depending on your age and all that, I mean, sometimes this age kind of thing, the time needed for sleeping according to age groups, according to us in the monastery, it doesn't really matter. You know, when I was in the monastery during my training years, we have like those young monastics who are like 20 plus years old. They wake up at 3 something in the morning, no problem. They meditate with us, do chanting, meditate with us, no problem at all. They do the whole day's, what they call duties and schedules and teachings and all those things. They do with us, 20 over years old. They are always there in time, punctually. Yeah. So it's just a matter of getting used to it. And so it's conditioning our body, conditioning our mind, yeah, to get into a good schedule. But ensure that you are really properly rested, because our body needs that rest. Yeah, and also depending on the kind of health we have. So make sure that you have enough rest, enough sleep. Yeah, and also your diet. Yeah, have a proper diet. Yeah. So there are many factors. And in fact, I was actually going to share with you that there was an article by Bhikkhu Thanissaro. He was actually mentioning, he wrote an article about how the importance of precepts actually does help us in our meditation too. Because for meditation, it all have to be based on good sila, good morality. So he was writing on how just the 5 precepts can really help us to overcome our hindrances. I mean, it only makes sense. By practicing the 5 precepts, we are not causing harm to ourselves, we are not causing harm to anybody. Right? We are giving safety to others, we are respecting others, right? So all these precepts are a very important part of our daily lifestyle for our peace and happiness, for not fearing, and not being anxious that we have done something that may have some kind of what they call repercussions coming back to us in a very negative way. The 5 precepts, according to the Buddha, is actually like a warranty for us to have another human rebirth. Right? So if you are able to just go and Google for that article by Bhikkhu Thanissaro, I think it's called The Importance of the 5 Precepts or something like that. Yeah, I'm not a writer, I'm not a scholar, but through our practices and other, when you have an article right there explaining how it can benefit us, you can really immediately feel that this is a good article. I want to share it with everybody. Yeah. So please, if you have time, if you have the opportunity, please Google for the article by Bhikkhu Thanissaro. It makes so much sense, actually, to me. It makes so much sense. And I'm quite sure that if we follow accordingly the 5 precepts, not just according to the letter of the word, but according to the essence of the teaching, I'm quite sure that we will have a lot of peace and happiness in our daily life, as well as the joy of getting into an easier meditation experience. I hope I answered your question. Yeah. So try to schedule a time. Yeah. Have enough rest. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayya, for the guidance. This online question. How should we reflect on meditation goal? Is the meditation practice still in the right track if it calls us right back in the cycle of design, such as thinking of meditation as a solution for all problems?
Are you able to repeat the question again?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Ayya, so the question is, how should we reflect on meditation goal? Is the meditation practice still in the right track if it calls us right back in the cycle of designs, thinking of meditation as a solution for all problems.
Okay, so there are a few parts in this question. So you were mentioning first about the meditation goal, GOAL. Okay, the goal of meditation is to let go of everything. So if you find that you are actually thinking and using meditation as a problem solution and all those things, we are not on the right track. Yeah. So why do we have so much problems in our life? Why do we have so much thinking happening even when we're sitting in meditation? Yeah. So to be able to think is something that is very natural because we are alive. We have a body and a mind. It is very, very natural to have thoughts arising. This is the process of nature. Okay, thinking. But the thing is that, like yesterday we were talking about the Buddha's quotation on, the Buddha's teaching on how he has experienced and how he has realized that the mind that is not guarded, the mind that is not protected, the mind that is not tamed, the mind that's not restrained, right? It gives us so much harm. So the opposite, of course, is having a tamed mind, a guarded mind, a protected mind, a restrained mind. It gives us so much goodness, right? So we have to first understand what is the purpose of our life. What is the purpose of our life? What is the purpose of the Tathagata, the Buddha arising in the world? What is the purpose of that? What is the purpose of us sitting in meditation? We have to understand that. Many of us have been conditioned to think that our purpose of life is to be successful, to have a status, to have a family. You know, there was once, and I still remember many years ago, one of the monastics video about one guy who actually mentioned that this is how my parents taught me, and it's all on the wrong direction. You have to go to school, you have to be successful, you got to pass your exam, you have to get a good job, then you have to get married, then you must have children, then you must have grandchildren, you must have status, you must have wealth, you must have cars, everything. This is normally how we were brought up, including me, right? Right? So this is how the world that we live in feels is the purpose of our being born. But according to the Buddha's teaching, the purpose of being born is not due to all this kind of accumulation of all these possessions and status and all those things. It gives us a lot of problems, a lot of what we call dukkha, unsatisfactoriness, isn't it? I mean, a lot of people think that, well, having richness, having a status, having higher education, everything, it can solve all of our problems. But is that true? Everybody has our own set of problems, right? We all have our own set of problems. So the purpose of life, we are all born again and again and again and again, going through the same process again and again and again and again, right? If without the Buddhas pointing out to us that, why do you want to go through the same process all over again and again and again and again? Then we will be caught in this process in samsara, thinking that, okay, I'm learning Buddhism, I'm learning meditation, and when I'm meditating, probably I'm trying to solve some kind of problems in my life or whatever. So it's all taken in the wrong direction. Okay. Now again, when we talk about all this like meditation and all those things, some people treat meditation as just a kind of relaxation and all those things. Yes, it does relax us to a certain extent. But if we want to do meditation according to the Buddha's teaching, then we have to direct our mind to accept that whatever is arising in our thoughts, whatever is arising in our reflections, our recollections and all those things, we are all just clinging to impressions of the mind of the past. We are just clinging. So all these things come back to the clinging of the five skandhas. That means the body and the mind. Yeah, body which is made up of the four elements, and the mind made up of feelings, perception, mental volition, and consciousness. We are just clinging. That's why it's called the aggregates of clinging. Most of the time we just cling. Now again, I use the simile that our teacher used to tell us. Let's say that this is a mirror. Our mind is like a mirror. Our mind reflects on things that goes through our 6 sense bases, right? Our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and other mind. Our mind reflects whatever comes into contact. This is a mirror. When I put this rod here, the mirror, it will immediately reflect on the rod, right? That's the mirror. So when you remove the rod from the mirror goes back to peace and emptiness. There's nothing there. But because we have the so-called notion of self, the ego, although there's nothing in our mind at that moment, because when you remove it from that very moment, that's why in meditation we say we want to be living in the present moment, the now, present moment. So when you remove the rod from the mind, our mind should be clear, isn't it? There's nothing showing there. But the tendency of our mind is to cling. So when you see something, right, you see the mind reflects on something that we see. Even when it's not there, we still cling. And this is the reason why we keep on thinking of our past. We're clinging to the past all the time. When we hear something, right, maybe we hear something that is very nice, we want to cling to that too. Right? So hearing is also another form of sense base in contact with the sound. So of course, the mind, now you don't see, but the mind can actually sense the sound coming in. So the mind that is actually, if it's in the present moment, there's nothing there. When it hears a sound that is contact with the ear to the sound, and then consciousness arises, the mind already, this will sort of like conveys the message that we are hearing something, right? But because our mind clings, we cling to that sound, then we put in things like labels of nice sound, not nice, I like it, I don't like it, it's irritating, or it doesn't matter. Then maybe the mind even starts to ask questions, what's that sound about? Who made that sound? See, that's the untamed mind, unguarded mind, unprotected mind. Yeah. So it's the same with what we smell, with the taste. It's all reflected in the mind. But even though after the mind has reflected it, right, we still want to cling on it. And because it's the speed of the mind, how it works, that's why we keep on thinking that there are a lot of things happening in our life. Our mind works so quickly. You don't believe me? I can always tell you. You just try to chant through memory something in the morning. Yeah, when you chant with your eyes closed, one sense base is not there. You chant to memory. Itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho. While you're chanting, something else is arising in our mind. Maybe you'll be thinking, oh, what am I going to cook for breakfast? What did I eat last night? That's how fast our mind works, right? So for meditation, if you want to know whether the goal of meditation has been met or not, it's very easy. Are you able to really meditate till you let go of everything and not feel the body, go into the state of stillness? You can't hear any sound. Your sense basis is totally shut down. Then you know that you have reached the goal of your meditation. And then you know that your mind is not working as the normal mode where it keeps on thinking and thinking and thinking and thinking. So meditation is a state where you let go of everything, where your mind doesn't think. There's no thought at all. If we are able to reach that state of mind, you can be sure you are on the right track of meditation. So for a person, any one of us, the nature of our mind is to reflect and then to cling. The nature of mind. The mind itself is not clinging, but because of that self, that notion of a self, and because of our ego, we cling. We cling why? Because we want to become we want to have a, what it called, the Buddha calls it a personality identity. We want to be known as such and such. I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm clever, I'm not clever. I have this beautiful car, I have this beautiful husband or wife, whatever. Everything that is within our status and possession, that's our identity. And we are all so afraid to lose that identity. Because in meditation, it's really letting go of everything, including letting go of your identity. No one, I'm a nobody. Yeah, right? And then that's the reason why we always say drop the past. Anything about the past, drop it. Yeah. And in the future is wanting to become someone. The wanting to become somebody, the moment we have a notion that I want to do this, I want to become that, that's what we call the state of the 12 links, the state of bhava, becoming. I want to do this, I want to become that. If I understand the 12 links correctly, that's when you start to give fuel to your continued existence. I want to be this and that. And that's why in meditation, our teachers always tell us, drop your past. Don't speculate into the future. Don't worry about your future. Be right here, right now. And what is that? The best thing for us to be with is the breath, because without the breath is always in the present moment. If you forget to breathe, we are dead. Right? So the breath is always the best tool for us to use to assist us to really focus and be in the present moment. Yeah, and this is how we know whether we have achieved the goal of meditation. Right? Goal of meditation is to really let go of everything. Let go of everything. Although it's easy to say let go of everything, it's really not easy, because even every time, every day, even though not in meditation, we can't let go of a lot of things. And especially what? Especially our habitual behavior, our habitual thinking, our habitual inclinations, built up over many, many lifetimes of rebirths. And it's the thing, all these habits, that we have to get out of from our system, right? That is called cultivation. So when we want to become enlightened, it's actually to become awakened. Awakened to what? Like the Buddha, he was awakened. Awakened to what? Awakened to the true nature of our existence. Awakened to the true nature of the universe. Awakened to the understanding, the realization that we are all fooled by our mind for so many lifetimes. The mind is actually something that is very peaceful, clear, and bright. And that's the reason why the Buddha says all of us can become enlightened, because all of us have a mind that is actually part of nature, is never in duality. Mother Nature, as I often use our teacher's quotation, Mother Nature is very, very fair. Mother Nature is very, very accommodating. It doesn't have, I like, I don't like, you are ugly, you are beautiful, you are tall, you are short. No, they see things as they really are, accept things as they really are. This is nature. Like sometimes as a young child, I used to ask, how come the cat can really jump so high, so many times higher than their height? How come I'm so tall, I cannot even jump half my height? I used to ask questions like that. And then finally, after learning Buddhism, after many, many, many years, even after I became a nun, then I realized that's nature. Nature has its way to create things. It's not within us to create them. It's Mother Nature. Mother Nature reacting with energies around us. It creates certain things. This is my understanding. Yeah, and this is the reason why all of us are so different. Yeah, first, of course, the teaching of karma comes into play. But the second thing is also, whenever Mother Nature wants to generate something due to certain conditions coming into contact with it, certain things will be formed. But because there's this self and ego, right, in the human beings, which is supposed to be the highest of all animals, because of the notion of self, notion of ego. Yeah, with this, we created a lot of things against nature. And this is the reason why we suffer so much. This is the reason why we cannot be awakened. This is the reason why we cannot see what the reality of nature is all about. So learning Buddhism and learning meditation is really a journey for us, not to go outwards, but to go inwards, to understand what nature is all about. Yeah. I cannot say that I truly understand the profundity of this teaching to the very full extent, but I think I'm starting to get a little bit of understanding. This is the reason why I'm sharing with all of you tonight. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense to me when Ajahn Brahm says you are all part of nature. It makes a lot of sense to me when I listen to my Chinese teacher explaining about the mind mirroring everything that comes into contact. And because we cling and cling and cling, we can't let go. That's why we have so much suffering in our life. Yeah. Just, I always ask myself, why is it that we give so much respect and attention, pay so much attention to somebody who is like a professor, a doctor, anyone who is like so-called in the upper echelon of society? But why can't we do the same kind of respect? Why can't we give the same kind of respect to somebody who's sweeping the floor for us, cleaning the dustbins for us, doing all those dirty jobs? Isn't it important too? Why can't we do it? That's because we are living in duality all the time. You are what we call a very low caste person. That is someone who is higher, someone who deserves our respect and all those things. We are always living in this kind of discrimination, and this is the reason why we have so much trouble with ourselves and with other people. If we are really part of nature, nature is very fair. I used to mention it in our Sunday talks and other talks too, that Mother Nature is very, very fair. Mother Nature, like for instance, the sun doesn't shine on someone who is good. The sun shines on everywhere, right? The rain doesn't rain on certain person's house, and that person who is not good, the rain will not rain there. That's nature. Correct? But for us, we discriminate a lot. And that's why learning meditation is really coming to a state where you can really understand that, as Ajahn Brahm always focused, there's nobody in there. There's really nobody in there. We are just part of nature. We're just processes of nature manifesting itself through the so-called body. And because we are a human being, we have the ability to think better than the lower animals. That's why to be born as a human is so difficult. Yeah. So whether you the question was whether you know whether you have achieved the goal of meditation, and after meditation you are coming back to your normal process of thinking and all those things. It's all very, very natural, right? It's natural. But the thing is that when the thinking repeats itself too much, then you really have to ask yourself, why am I thinking so much? Because every thought that arises, right, is all about clinging to impressions, believing that they're all very real. And that's why we build up that big self there, because we think we are very real. Yeah, so I don't know whether you understand what I mean or not, but when the teacher explained that to us about how we make ourselves become so solid and so real, thinking that we are actually something called a self, right? And this is the reason why we have so many problems in our life. So meditation is all about letting go, letting go, letting go. Letting go of so many things. Even in our daily life, we have to let go of all our habitual inclinations. A lot of the habitual inclinations which we think is very important for us, actually are obstructions to our peace and happiness in life. It's true. The less you have, the happier you become. Just don't get yourself into debts, okay? So for me, I always tell everybody, I always tell them, as long as you're not in debt, you're a rich person. As long as you're not in debt, you are a rich person. Yeah, and this is the reason why one of the conditions for us to become a monastic is, are you in debt? If you are in debt, you cannot be a monastic. You cannot be ordained. Yeah. I don't know whether I have answered her question or not. Can you please ask whether I have? Yeah, because this is something that is not easily realized, but it has to be done. It has to be, as the Buddha has mentioned in the Four Noble Truths, right? You know the cause of, you know the suffering, you know the kinds of suffering, you know the cause of suffering. Then you know that there is a way of suffering. There is the end of suffering. There is the goal of ending suffering and the path to end suffering. So all these things we have to go through the process of understanding them, abandoning them, putting them into cultivation and realization. And the realization part of it is called awakening. Yeah. Can you please ask whether I have more or less answered the question? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Ayya, thanks so much for sharing the wisdom.
Thank you.
The guided meditation tonight. I will provide you the feedback if I see any message come back from the practitioner.
I can't quite
haven't. Let's see. Yep. But the comment is thank you so much, Ajahn.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for putting up with me. Sometimes I find I want to talk a lot to share with all of you, because when I always told my nuns here that because I didn't come from a Pali background, so it was quite a big struggle for me to really learn Pali, because first and foremost, my linguistic skill is not really that good. Not like certain people, they are very good in like languages and other grasps it very easily. For me, it's more of the feel of what the teaching is all about when it's explained in a language that I can understand, and when I can feel the truth of it. Something that gives me conviction that yes, this is the Buddha's teaching, and this is what I can put into practice. This is what I have realized through the results that the Buddha has mentioned in his teachings. And this is what gives me the confidence that I have more or less understood the teachings as explained by our teacher. And I try to put the teachings that I learned from my Chinese teachers to compare with Ajahn Brahm's teaching to see whether they really align with each other or not. If they align with one another, I think I am more or less on the right path. And the important thing is, how do I know whether I really am learning the teachings of Lord Buddha? As mentioned many times by teachers, if you find that you can actually let go of a lot of things and you can really fit into any situation with any group, you are able to let go, not going into some kind of argumentative state whenever there are some differences in opinion and all those things. You are really able to let go. You are cheerful, you are happy, you are able to make decisions for other people. You don't aggrandize yourself, and you don't put yourself, on a what they call pedestal or whatever. Anything goes, anything is okay, yeah. And you are able to be honest enough and courageous enough to know that, yeah, I'm doing something that's not wholesome. I have to correct myself. All this kind of strength that is slowly building up, right? Without depending on other people for that extra support. The only thing I need is really to go to a teacher to say, dear teacher, am I on the right path? These are the experiences I have gone through my life, through what I've done, especially through meditation. Yeah. So this is the reason why when you have meditation experiences, which is very unusual, right? Don't overestimate ourselves. Don't underestimate ourselves. Go to a meditation teacher you have confidence in and ask whether, am I on the right path? Am I really getting into a jhana? Don't tell the teacher I'm getting into a jhana. The teacher will know whether we are getting into a jhana or not by what we describe, what we have gone through. and with certain questions, the teacher will know that we are getting in a jhana, we are not getting to the jhana, and have faith in the teacher's decision that we are or not in a jhana, right? Because they have gone through it, they know what we are doing, they know what we have experienced. And from what we are describing, they know very well whether we are going through a correct path towards meditation or not. Okay?
Yeah, thank you again, Ayya.
Thank you so much. Thank you all.
Just a quick announcement for the coming teaching program. So tomorrow night, sit meditation led by Sandim. And on Monday to Thursday night, 7 p.m., meditation and healthy habits. So 20 minutes monastically guided nightly meditation, sit on Discord channel. And also New Day, New Mind, daily meditation group that you can join anytime between 4 to 6:30 Melbourne time on Discord. So Ajahn Nando joined the room between 6 to 6:30 on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And we provide guided meditation during those days. This Sunday, Ajahn Sadhguru will give the Sunday Dhamma talk. And next Monday is Ajahn Sadhguru again. So thank you again, Ayya, for tonight's teaching and guided meditation.
Thank you so much. And to conclude, I'd like to, in English, I'd just like to dedicate merits to all devas and nagas. May they protect Buddha's dispensation and teachings, and may they protect all of us who are on the path. May we also, through the virtues of our practices and through the blessings of the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha, may the devas and all spiritual beings and all sentient beings benefit from the teachings, and may we continue to be on the Noble Eightfold Path, guided by Aryang teachers and supported by family members, friends, and all Kalyanamittas in all directions. Also, from the time that we have got here just now, and for whatever goodness we have done today, may whatever blessings arising and merits arising, may they be shared with our departed loved ones, our departed family members and relatives who have departed from our life. May they all have good rebirth and to be able to connect with the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Likewise, to be guided by our young teachers, may all of us be able to journey inwards to the goal towards full awakening through the truth as taught by the Buddha. So let's now pay respect to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Arahang Samma Sambuddho Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivadenu Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhammang Namassami Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho Sanghang